WNST, Towson, Baltimore, and WNST.net. It has been a wild weekend for the remote control, at least in my place. I had no idea how addicted to the World Baseball Classic I would become late at night. But, it was going to be a challenging weekend all the way around with March Madness, with the Caps, with the Wizards, and lo and behold, the Ravens making moves. And we sent out WNST texts over the weekend. If you're on our service, you always get the news first. It's always brought to you by Coons Ford of Security Boulevard. And this guy knows that best because he sponsors our WNST tech service. He is Dennis Kolatzis. He'll be here on Thursday with the SSV on WNST. Den, when you said you were going to do Thursdays, I thought, well, in football season, Dennis will have a lot of fun, but what's going to happen outside of season on the Thursday show? And then I realized, oh, yeah, there's something going on every day. I mean, this weekend was, for me, as active just on the field, off the field. The Orioles are playing. Adam Jones and Manny Machado were playing it in the middle of the night. We thought the Terps would be playing further, and they weren't. We got Duke eliminated. I mean, all was not lost over the weekend, but wow, what a weekend of sports, right?
Yeah, Duke eliminated Michigan. What a big story they've been after the airplane runway fiasco. What a great Cinderella story that is. And you got the Shockers and Lynn Marshall there getting escorted out of the arena, and great hockey and golf and UFC and boxing, and they found Tom Brady's jersey. 39 days left to the NFL draft. I'm telling you, as you mentioned, my remote control was going crazy this weekend. It was insane.
Well, Tom Brady's jersey was the big story. I mean,
huge.
How could that disappear like that?
Right.
What incredible value that would. It is hilarious, right?
It is.
All the security they have, and why is he always in the middle of the drama? Well,
it's what he attracts in his life because he's a bit of a drama queen, and he likes the attention, he likes the spotlight. And look, he's got 5 rings now, so he's going to get even more attention going forward, particularly with the offseason that they've had. This team's even better now than they were than the team that won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, rich get richer. I thought there was a salary cap here. Certainly for the Ravens there's a salary cap. And, what do you give them for marks right now, Dennis? I mean, we're 2 weeks into this free agent thing now. We're 5 weeks out on the draft. We've seen the direction they've gone in, all in on Brandon Williams, getting themselves a corner, losing Rick Wagner, losing Kyle Juszczyk, picking up Jefferson. They've been active. I think they've been very wise with their resources so far. I think we would all acknowledge there's still a lot of work to be done.
A ton of work to be done. I think Ozzie Newsome would be the first person to agree with you. But look, they've done a great job. I think they've signed 2 of the top 13 free agents, if you count Brandon Williams at number 3 and Tony Jefferson at number 13. So you can't knock them for that. You bring in Danny Woodhead. You bring in Brandon Carr. 2 quality guys. Carr is a better fit for the defense, in my opinion, than Morris Claiborne, who could never get on the field. Carr started, I guess, around 40 straight games. A veteran, 30 years old, can still run. Will be dependable and reliable there every Sunday. So I think they've done a great job so far. You still have some other free agents lingering. Nick Mangold, maybe there's a fit there. Maybe there isn't with the Ravens. But
he's also a guy that has to get on the field.
Got to get on the field. Yeah. But look, you still have the draft coming up, and you still have the June 1st cuts. A lot of time left, and Ozzie will build his team. But early on, I like what they're doing. I like what they're doing with the defense, and I like Woodhead as your third down back. And again, defense is what wins championships, and this is how this team is built. This is how they won back in 2012. This is how they won in 2000. And I still think they're going to draft for defense. They'll get some offensive players. They need a wide receiver. As you mentioned, they got to get a center, got to get a right tackle. They'll fill those needs here on out. Everybody knows what they are. They focus on the defense, but you can bet the offense is going to get some attention. Joe Flacco will have to have some receivers to throw the ball to, and Ozzie Newsome will not disappoint. He'll make the right moves, the right calls. There'll be a good player there at number 16. There'll be another good player there at 47, and also the 2 third-round picks. I expect the first 4 players this year that they draft in Nestor to have a really good chance to get on the field day one. So I think they have enough to get it going. But I'm as excited as I've been in a long time for this Ravens team, the 2017 version.
Well, we're a long way out on that. Dennis Kolatzis joining us here. He'll be here on Thursday doing the SSV on WNST, driving you home from 3 until 5. I plan to join him on the eve of what's the remainders of March Madness. I'll get to the Terps in a minute. Last thing for you with the Ravens. I thought the cornerback pickup and the fact that was targeted and the safety position has been targeted, the middle of the field has been targeted. We've talked about the center at the position on the offensive side. But I thought getting the corner really takes a little bit of air out of the tires for the pressure that they're going to be feeling on draft week. Because, as you pointed out, there's still plenty of pressure. There's wide receiver, there's rush edge, there's offensive line issues, there's who's going to carry the ball, who's going to catch the ball, who's going to protect my quarterback. We got a lot of questions here, but I'm really heartened that at least the back end of the secondary, that they've taken this seriously, because this has been an ongoing issue for 4 years now.
Yeah, they haven't properly addressed it, and when you realize that most NFL teams, including the Ravens, their base defense is a nickel package. You're talking 5 defensive backs back there. You can't have enough of these guys. And I've got my second mock draft up on WNST, and we do address in my draft. The secondary they still got to draft one more young corner, and this draft it's deep in cornerbacks and edge rushers, the positions that the Ravens desperately need. I think they'll be able to address them. They'll address them properly. They hit on Tavon Young last year, and I expect them in the second or third or fourth round at the latest. Actually, first three rounds, they will address corners. They have to have one more because Jimmy Smith, he's still a question mark. He hasn't been able to stay on the field the last 2 seasons. The Lisfranc injury is big for him. He had screws taken out last year. Still missed 3 or 4 games that were critical. And as we've seen, they're a different team without him. So you've got to get one more solid corner to develop another young guy. And the addition of Brandon Carr moves Tavon Young to nickel corner, where at 5'10", he won't be able to be isolated on an island as he was on the outside. So this is classic Ozzie Newsome, Nestor. This is what he does. He fills holes right before the draft, so that way he's not drafting for need. He can truly focus on the best player available, although I do think he should draft the best player available at a position of need, such as wide receiver, edge rusher, center, or tackle.
Ozzie's famous for saying, well, we don't have to play this weekend, but if we did, we could go play if we had to. And I think, the Brandon Carr pickup makes that more palatable for me. And I know we've talked about John Urschel in the middle. We've talked about Hurst in the right. The guys that where they are on the depth chart right this minute. And to your point, if Jimmy Smith can't get on the field, he's nowhere on the depth chart right this minute, right? So all that aside, and to the community side of things, no shock. I mean, Torrey Smith stopped by with us at the Super Bowl. We talked about his release in the 49ers and potential with the Ravens, and he signs with the Eagles. But he was here in town on Sunday, doing what he said he was going to do when he was a player here. And, you and I are old enough to remember when, guys used to live here and invest here and stay here and, be a part of what was going on here. I really got to tip my cap to Torrey Smith for what he did.
Yeah, it was great to see him back. Him and Ray Rice, Ed Reed, a bunch of guys came, and it's what they do. They give back to the community, and they spend time with the kids, with the youth of the community. And it's always great to see those guys. Good, solid guys. I mean, they are, and you can tell they miss Baltimore. They like being here. They like interacting with the fans and media members.
Well, it's the only place some of them are ever going to win a championship, right? I mean, Bolden, Jacoby Jones, Ed Reed, Ray Rice, they were all together. I mean, that's a major core part of the Super Bowl 47 group getting together to shoot some baskets on a otherwise quiet Sunday afternoon downtown when the Terps were eliminated. A couple thousand people showed up, but I really have incredible respect for that because I've been doing this 32 years here, Dennis. Not everybody does that. Not everybody comes back and invests back, and that was and to see Ray Rice come out too, for the good, the bad. And I know you've had relationships with a lot of the Ravens players and sold them cars over the course of time. Ray Rice appearing and saying, "Hey, I'm here and I'm going to do something nice and something good." I have no problem with that. As a matter of fact, I like that a lot.
Yeah, Ray spent a lot of time in Baltimore, and again, you talk about a guy who's still under the radar. He has spent more time with the youth of Baltimore City than any other athlete that I'm aware of. He still comes back. He still gives a lot of his time, and they look up to him.
He's got a life lesson to teach, right?
Yeah, he does have a life lesson, and you know what? His story is all about redemption. He and Janae got married. Now he has a son in addition to his daughter. Beautiful family. They live up in Connecticut, right across from Long Island. Got his life back together again, and look, he's got enough money. He still wants to play desperately in the NFL, and I don't know why he hadn't played in the CFL for a couple of years just to get back on the field. I don't think the NFL thing will ever happen. He said he's not going to give up on his dream, but I'd like to see him get involved in some capacity with the NFL, with the Ravens perhaps, in the front office role, because as you mentioned, he is the poster child for what can go wrong and how you can lose everything in the blink of an eye.
He is Dennis Kalatzis. He is the SSV on WNST out on Twitter. He'll be here on Thursday, driving you home from 3 until 5. And, of course, they sponsor our WNST tech service. Any breaking news, you will get that first. All right, here's your chance. Anything you want to throw some cold water on the Terps? I know it's been a couple of days now. I know there's a lot of emotion on the back end of what we saw on Thursday night. Just, what a pooper party, right? I mean, what a downer. What a... and it happens quickly when you lose early in the evening on Thursday. It's like, if your pool's alive, good for you. But I watched basketball all day Saturday. I watched basketball all night Sunday. I'm into it. But it does feel like when you don't have a chance to win, it's, all you have left is rooting against Duke. And, well, they lost. Now what are we going to do, right?
Yeah, no question about it. And to me, look, they laid an egg against Northwestern. It was pretty much the same thing against Xavier. And Melo didn't have a real good game, and they would go as he would go in the Big tournament as well as the NCAA tournament. They just didn't show up, didn't show well. Still a good season, for the Terps, and they're getting a couple of guys next year. But big guy in the middle, 6'10", 6'11". I don't recall his name right now, but you can look at it. They were 22-2 at one point, and they just didn't finish strong. Didn't really show up in the tournament.
Well, we'll be watching this weekend. We're inching closer to opening day. Do you go to opening day, Dan, or no? That's not even like that's. No.
Yeah, I've always missed opening day. I don't know why, but I've never missed opening day for football, but for baseball, I have missed. But I know that you and a lot of our fellow Baltimoreans get really jacked off about opening day.
Well, I'm the sober guy there, which is really, that's unusual at opening day. Yeah, I'm the guy at 5 o'clock when it's like the 6th inning. I'm still watching the game. Usually a little chilly, but
right.
I am watching the game. You've been watching the WBC. I noticed this, and clearly the Machado, Adam Jones, that play from an Oriole perspective, I think from a U.S. baseball perspective, sort of legendary, but it did happen at 2 in the morning and no one was watching.
Yeah, and I wish Machado played for the U.S. I mean, I was born overseas, but look, I'm an American, man. I'm an American Greek. I'm not a Greek American. So
whoa. You wouldn't play if the Greek team called for you? You wouldn't put on the blue and white?
Absolutely not. Nope. I'm an American, man. I mean, my kids were born here, got married here. This is, I love this country a lot more. I love the country I was born in. I mean, it's just, to me, that's, this trumps everything. We're all Americans. We're all immigrants, but we're all Americans. And to me, I get it. I understand these young guys, but for me as an older guy, I would play for Team America all the way.
All right, red, white, and blue,
That's
you. There he goes.
That's it.
Well, I think the Ravens are done for a little while, right? I mean, they don't have any money left. Kind of.
Well, you never know, and he's the Ozzie keeps coming up with stuff up his sleeve.
I'm waiting for that Mangold text.
Yeah, there's pressure on them. It's clear. That's why I think they've been a lot more active. There's a sense of urgency with this organization, and Steve Bisciotti rang the bell. He said, "Look, you got to get it done." And I think they're all paying attention. I think they're all going to have a more of a pep in their step, and you can see it already in the off season. They are more urgent. They're going to make quicker moves, more calculated moves. They're going to have to build a roster, and you know what? It's players. I think they have the right coaching staff, but this it's all about acquiring talent, and the more talent that they can acquire, the better shot they have. It's a 2-team race in our division. I think Cleveland, we can all agree, is terrible, and Cincinnati, they seem like they're going backwards. They've lost some people.
Wow, I don't know how they're going to replace that offensive line.
The offensive line, and this guy, Kevin Minter, is a decent linebacker they got from Arizona, but the guy, I watched tape on him. He misses a lot of tackles. He doesn't scare me in that division. I mean, he's going to get run over. So I think it's going to be us and the Steelers, and the Ravens right now have to gear up to beat the Steelers, and that's what it's going to come down to again, just like last year.
Dennis, I'm having breakfast with John Harbaugh on next Monday. Any special requests, you let me know on Thursday, okay? So I'll be on the SSV. I'm having breakfast with all the AFC coaches on Monday and the NFC coaches on Tuesday. So, if you got any questions along the line, send them my way. I will take them out to the desert. I'm going to watch a little baseball this weekend, learn about some football, and who knows, by the time I leave next week, the Raiders might be in Vegas.
Follow the money, Nestor. My feeling is that's where they'll be. I know there's a movement for them to keep them from going to Vegas, but that's where the money's at. I think the NFL wants to see them there. The owners want to see them there, and you know what? That's where the money's at. It's going to be a great destination, especially from people visiting from overseas, from across the pond, so to speak. Go to Vegas, gamble, take in a Raiders game. I think it's going to be a very big deal.
Whatever Jerry Jones wants, By God, Jerry Jones, except a championship. He doesn't get that.
Well,
But,
you know what? He's got to stay out of this. He's got to quit meddling, and as long as he does it, they have a shot. But I don't think he can help himself.
They were 13-3 last year. They have nowhere to go but down.
Yeah, you know, when they still have the Tony Romo situation still looming, which is another fascinating thing as it plays out here. We'll see if they can handle that the right way or not.
Well, you know, everybody wants a quarterback, right?
Yeah, you got two suitors right now. You got Denver and Houston, and if they're smart, they'll try to get the most out of each organization and sell him to the highest bidder. It's a business, and this is when Tony Romo will find out how difficult of a business it can be sometimes.
Speaking of that, Tyrod Taylor was at the game on Sunday with
guy.
Torrey Smith, one of my favorite dudes as well. Stopped talking with him for a little while about Buffalo and being back, and he looked good, looked healthy, was out there shooting some hoops. So good for Tyrod. So I forgot about him, and that's not right because he's a starting quarterback in the National Football League.
So proud of him. He's come a long way.
He's going to make more money this year than any of them. Literally, right?
He's done well, and if Sammy Watkins is healthy up there, and they got a new coaching staff, I think they have a real shot. They have Shady McCoy back to running the ball, decent defense, and I was glad to see him get a deal done. Very happy for him and his family. Just such a good guy.
I talked to him, and he's such an he's such a nice guy.
Oh, he's terrific.
And I said, hey, when are you going back to Buffalo? He said, whatever, it was April 4th, whatever. He's like, hey, we got a new coach. We get extra time, so new coaches get to bring everybody in early. And he saw that as hey, let's go, man. I want to win.
Yeah, he's in great shape. I've watched videos of him on Instagram working out. I mean, he's in tip-top shape. He's ready to get after it. And I wish them all nothing but the best. And hopefully they can give the Patriots a run for the money this year.
By the way, Ed Reed looked like he could play not just football. He looked like he could play linebacker.
Oh, Ed Reed, he could still play it. Love to see him on the Ravens coaching staff at some point.
Ed is bigger and stronger than he was as a player.
Well, he probably got healthy now. But Ed loves game film, and who better to coach your defensive backs than Ed Reed? Somewhere, somehow, in the future, I see Ed Reed in a Ravens uniform as a coach.
Well, time will tell. We'll see how it works out. Hey, I'll check back in with you later on in the week. We got some March Madness, and obviously a free agency still there. He is Dennis Colatzos. He is the SSV on WNST. Set him straight out there, Coons Ford all week. What do you got going on out there? Anything good?
A lot of things good. We got month-end sale happening right now. Nestor still 0% for 72 months. Lots of cash back from Ford Motor Company, and of course we have the world's best service department and body shop. We know we can make your crashed vehicle brand new again. 3 paint booths, and they're going 24/7. Lots of referrals and repeat business. I want to thank WNST for all the just all the great association that we have with you with NST, Nestor.
Well, when I get to scream about 0% for 72 months, that's pretty easy to do, right?
It's pretty easy to do, and I tell you what, we get so much repeat and referral business from all of our listeners. I really appreciate it.
Well, that's really sweet of you to say that. Go rest up. I mean, at some point the weather will break, the snow will go away, and we'll play baseball sometime around here now that basketball's over. But and you know me, I've cleared my whole calendar for April, May, and June for hockey. Right
there, you go.
I got nothing but rocking the red on my mind in April and May. I need a cup run. There's a rumor that I'm going to grow a playoff beer, Dennis. It won't be pretty.
That'd be great. I love your stuff you do with Barry Trotz and Ed Frankovic. You guys do a great job.
It won't look good on the internet, I promise you.
It's okay.
My face on Facebook, ooh, ugly. See you later. There he goes, Dennis Colatzos of Coons Ford, Security Boulevard, the SSV on WNST here on Thursday. You can find me anytime, anywhere out at WNST.net, and also email me, nasty@WNST.net. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Snapchat, Instagram, streaming live on our Facebook Live as well as our YouTube WNSTV channel. We are WNST.net, AM 1570 and WNST Towson, Baltimore, and we never stop talking Baltimore sports.